We here in Costa Rica, we have lots of celebrations. Yesterday here on this farm that we live on, it's called a Chucha Colistopo, which means a trout farm, which is what they grow here, and they have a restaurant. And we had a great celebration yesterday for our son Azani's birthday, my grandson. So, and just some of the highlights of living and practicing Dharma. So I'm gonna start this morning program with um, taking refuge, and then we'll proceed with the blessings of the three jewels and the three roots, and then do the actual uh, transmission of the class, which is coming to us. We call the Terma lineage of Padmasambhava, which is one of the many lineages that we follow in the Kagyu tradition. So we start with refuge. Dagdang Jowa Namke Tadang Yampe Shem Chem Tam She Dudi Ne Chung Te Shi Si Jeng Shub Nek Bo La Chi Ki Bardo Balden Lama Dampa Nam La Chab Shu Chi Yedem Chirkorgi Latso Nam La Chab Su Chi Sanjay Chom Dende Nam La Chab Su Chi Palpe Gandum Nam La Chab Su Chi Pao Kandro Chokyung Sung Me Sho Ye Sheki Shendong Dempa Nam La Chab Su Chi. And that translates into we go for refuge to all the Lama Gurus, the Idams, all the Buddhas, all the Dharma, all the Sangha, and all of the protectors called Dakas and Dakinis, and all the beings that defend the Dharma. Then we take refuge in the three roots, the Lamas, deities, and protectors. And that in Tibetan goes like this. Sanjay Chodam Shoki Chognam La Cheng Shu Bardu Dagni Chapsuchi Dagi Jinso Chi Pe Sonam Ki Chola Penjur Sanjay Drubar Sho. To the Buddha Dharma and Sangha and this assembly, we go for refuge until enlightenment. May we, through the merit of gained from practicing the six paramitas, accomplish Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings, which include all the animals, all the humans, and all the spirits, not only on this planet, but in the entire universe. So that's our refuge. That's our program. That's our method. And that's our mission. So with all of that, um, we'll do the 21 breaths with both the three colors of the white for the inhale, red for the middle breath, and blue for the exhale. And that will be combined with the three mantra sounds of the Om, the Ah, and the Hum, bringing the body, speech, and mind of the Tantric tradition into the breathing and healing process of these elements, which are earth, water, fire, air, and space. So sit with your back straight, comfortable, eyes open if you can, hands in a comfortable position. Bring your focus, your awareness to your breathing, and we're going to do 21 breaths with white, red, and blue, Om, Ah, and Hum. Start with the first breath. We'll do it together. Inhale. When you reach the 21st breath, and everybody breathes a little differently, we are taking the energy when we inhale into our uh, abdomen area mostly. And when we exhale, the blue light goes to space. And what we mean is the healing energy that we are generating in our physical form, we share with the world around us, the environment, and the sentient beings, animals, humans, and spirits. So then the 21st breath with the three lights, imagine it to come into your heart chakra and create a tiny point of light in the heart chakra in the middle channel. Then you expand that light to the mother element, which is visualized as a small white sphere the size of your thumbnail. Then you visualize that out in front of your chest and up before your eyes, directly in front of your nose, and see it there. And then wear it. And by that I mean put that white sphere of the symbol of the space element around you, out beyond the reach of your arms. So in front, behind, right, left, above, and below. Once you become encased with this symbol of the mother element, this white sphere, it brings all the other, we call them the daughter elements, earth, water, fire, air, into balance. And as that takes place, your physical body is starting to not only bring everything in balance, but heal itself and the energy field around you. Because that's, for some of us, we call that the aura. So as you visualize like that, then because we are doing the tantric tradition of Chenrezig and Tara and Manjushri and many other yoga, deity yogas, we share it with the world around us. And when you do that, you take the sphere that's you're encasing your body and imagine it to expand out to include a large area of where you live, your city, your town, the island, and if you can, about 50 miles or about maybe 20,000 kilometers in every direction. Then you expand it outward to enclose Mother Earth. Then, with your imagination, expand it outward to enclose our solar system, the sun, the moon, all the planets, everything for billions of miles inside this white sphere. Then expand it out to our spiral dish-shaped galaxy, which is said to be over 100,000 light years in diameter, and then take it into the dimension of infinite space. We call it the primordial state. And since there's no center or boundary to that, the symbol blends with it and disappears. And as that takes place, simply totally relax with nothing to meditate on. And what is taking place with this relaxed awareness is called the original or primordial state of emptiness or voidness, which is applied to everything. Then return the sphere, white sphere, out of that dimension to enclose the galaxy, shrink it to enclose the solar system, smaller and smaller to enclose Mother Earth, then all of that to enclose the area where you live, your neighborhood, city, town, island, whatever. Then take the sphere again to enclose your physical form so that the total healing energy and all the results of that are, you can be assured of, are taking place, along with the accumulation of other, it called gifts or qualities such as wealth and harmonious family, friends, lovers, all of that, pets. Then return the sphere to in front of your eyes, drop it to chest level and into your heart chakra. So it, it starts to take place with your inner space. And this wisdom aspect of that is called the Dharma. Then that sphere in your heart chakra, shrink it to a tiny point of light and into emptiness and relax. No meditation. Then you bring your two hands up to in front of your heart chakra, fingers extended, and the symbol of your hands is the earth, water, fire, air, space. Energy is coming out your fingertips to all of your friends, lovers, pets, everybody you have karma with, so that they have a share in this healing program. Then, like two big boulders with two eggs in between, slap your hands together and feel. This is a method of removing obstacles to this process of healing for self and others. And in the hands with palms pressed together, you dedicate this merit or virtue of this practice to all sentient beings. And once you've accomplished this practice for yourself, then you can share it with your family, friends, lovers. We did it in Hawaii through all the school systems and through all of the temples of the other traditions, Japanese and so forth, Hawaiian, on all the islands. And now we are doing that here in Costa Rica, and Dalai Lama wants to extend this out globally for world peace. And that's a good thing. Emaho. At this point in the practice, I want to introduce the method of the Dharma in action. And actually, this is my program on a daily basis, as taught to me by all my teachers. And what it entails is the simplicity of the Dharma for us in the Tantric tradition of 5 Buddha families. And the purpose of the 5 Buddha families, the wisdom of these, is to control the emotional, or actually heal the emotional program within the practitioners, our Dharma brothers and sisters, and our own situation. The first part of the practice, the 5 elements, is to heal the body. And that makes it, all practice easier to do and attain accomplishment. But the second part is much more involved because of the immensity and power of the mind with these emotional constrictions, obstruction. And they fall into, we put those in 5 categories of earth, and then attachment and aversion, then pride and jealousy. But beyond that, the mind has 84,000 different ways of being, which makes us all different according to that karmic situation, but we all are the same because we're the human family all together on this planet. And so I'm going to explain how it is with the the Dharma as it is applied to the ordinary individual of various races, religions, communities. And we've tried to simplify this into 10 steps or 10 innovations or practice. The first one of these 10 is generosity. And generosity is in the Tibetan word puja. Puja is a word for practice of these yogas. And it also extended into everything we do in our relationships and involvement with the environment that we live in. The second practice of the Bodhisattva training, and this is called the Bodhisattva Training School, is morality. Well, of course, that's hard to define for each and every individual, but simply said, it's the moralics of ethics and good manners, and in some case, vows and other forms of discipline. Then the third aspect of this Bodhisattva training is called patience. And for you, for you that are mothers with children, you know the benefit of that for yourself and for the children too. But we extend it to everyone as part of this training. The fourth training is diligence, perseverance in these first three practices. And then we extend that into what we call the fifth practice, which is meditative focus, being to hold our awareness on objects or even a single object for long periods of time. And that takes us into the state of the sixth practice, which is summed up as the first five: generosity, morality, patience, and perseverance with focus, into the experience of spatial awareness. And so those first six are applied to the ordinary beings that are not doing the deity yogas and mantras and so forth. Then for those that are, then we have four more trainings. The deity yogas themselves, aspirations, prayers of what to do with that accomplishment of compassion, power, and insight through those yogas. And that's the eighth practice. The ninth one is we call bodhicitta, which is a Sanskrit word for applying this as a form of concern for the well-being of yourself and everyone, all the animals, all the humans, and all the spirits in the entire universe, that we will help them to mature and awaken into the higher states of the Buddhas. And as we discern the sutras and tantra practices, we must understand that we don't know anything beyond that. And even though there's a lot of paradoxes in our accomplishment of these so-called siddhis, abilities, even those are included just as they are, unanswerable, at least to our intellectual process that we possess. So I want to sum this up now, that these 10 Bodhisattva trainings, along with the 5 Buddha families, and these are used in each one of the 5 families: earth, water, fire, air, and space, is the basis. And as the Lamas advised us 50 years ago in Hawaii, we take these 5 elements and we connect them with the Tantra practices to 5 states of awareness. Now, these are a little more complicated, but I'll just simply read them off quickly. The first one is mirror-like awareness, but I add the word empty mirror-like awareness. Then the second one, and that's the water element, Then the air element becomes all accomplishment activity of the Bodhisattva as wisdom. And the third one is called Dharma Dhatu. That means pervading all the existing situations in the universe with this wisdom. The fourth one is the wisdom of equality or equanimity. And that's the earth element transformed to aid us in that process of emotional uh, healing. And then the fifth one is the fire element, and that's the year we're in now, coming into. It's called discerning or discriminating wisdom or awareness. And simply said, what that means is what is appropriate, what is not appropriate, what is helpful, what's harmful, and so forth. So you're applying this to your own, this program of Bodhisattva training to your own situation and to your family, friends, relatives, and the environment. Here in Costa Rica, the environment is not only connected with the ocean, but for thousands of miles of intense jungle full of animals and spirits, and of course, a few human beings. But it goes on for actually thousands of miles in every direction. So that's our home here. Wherever you are, it might be a city or a town or a community, small or large. That's the purpose, to bring it into harmony. And we think of it like a mother for her only child. And when we think like that, then it becomes unconditional awareness. So we have two kinds. We have unconditional awareness and conditioned awareness. We have unconditional love, we have conditional love. And now we're starting to differentiate these according to our mind, our body, and everything. And so I think at this point in the transmission of this program this morning, uh, maybe you might have a question, and then I'll proceed with the rest of the transmission, which sum it all up. So anybody with questions, either type them in or
I
yeah.
I just didn't catch what number 10 was in the 10 innovations or
Oh,
practices.
I didn't say. Thank you for doing that. It's called loving kindness, which is actually who we should be without having to climb all the way up to number 10. And loving kindness is uh, in the human situation from birth to death and so forth, uh, is our life. It should be our lifestyle. It should be applied to not only all those we have relations with or karma with, it should be applied to the environment. And because it is not on this planet on a large scale, uh, it is very, very important to use the power of this, along with the other 9 practices, to see if we can keep everything in harmony and not have it uh, destroy what's already in place. So thank you for that question. Perfect. Can't get any better than perfect.
Sandra.
Yeah.
I was a few minutes late, so you might have already covered this. How was your retreat?
Oh, Lama Karma Dorje. Truth or Consequences? No, not
No.
Truth. No, that was the other one. Lama Karma Dorje is Dewa Chen is what he calls his group, and it's about maybe what, an hour or two from here. But first of all, I'd like to say my take on it was a really wonderful sharing of energy, and he acknowledged me for who I am as a fellow human being, but also as a Lama. And so the two of us together, we were with about 20 people, had a really good healing session. But I want to say one thing about where he lives. It's the most dangerous place I visited in Costa Rica because of the roads up into where they have their buildings. And it's like this. So what, and the road goes switchback. So immediately go into hairpin turns, constantly going up, and it's just wide enough for a vehicle. And when you're looking out the passenger window, you're looking down hundreds of feet to the next level of the road. So it was quite challenging, but I think it was, I had to say, it was dangerous and exciting. It was almost being like in a Disneyland. But they're making good use of all of that. And they even asked if I would help them to establish a stupa on a hill about a mile or two away from the main house. If we would help get a stupa there. And so I put them in touch with our people in Hawaii so they could accomplish that. So that was part of it.
And Roxanne, have you been receiving my emails?
I haven't been in Tashi's email inbox the last week and a half, but I can tap in there and
All righty. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not answering my phone. I don't use a computer. And the reason for that is that I'm in a hermitage situation, which means the least involvement with the outside world, the more I can put into the practice of the Dharma. That's the purpose of this particular place. And right now we're in my bedroom, which is about maybe 12 by 12. And it's a 2-bedroom cave house. And so Roxanne, my lovely granddaughter, and her grandson, Azani, we share this. And she has her programs to take care of, and they're quite extensive. And mine cover the new situations of centers that we are setting up here. And we have four, and with karma, our karma, we'll have more. But those 4 places are in action with groups of people, communities, to practice Dharma and to live in the lovely environment of the jungles, the ocean, and everything here. And so it's workable and enjoyable at the same time. And so we get to play in it. Does that answer?
Yeah, we're so happy for you.
Yes, happy. Yeah, extremely so. Eh? Yeah. Roxanne is also, she's not only my support attendant and so forth, but she's also a practitioner. And I have to say, her name is Sering Droma, which is Waitara, and she activates that quite well. in our family situation. So that's where we are, and we wish that everybody has that good karma with their family, friends, and so forth, and in their practice. Next.
There was a question here.
Yes, Lama Tashi, I had a question.
Okay.
It's coming back to the first part of the practice, the 21 breath. When I didn't quite understand, and I'm sorry about the taking in and out. So when you take in, it's white, then red, ah. But where is the ah? Is it when you hold your breath before exhaling?
Yeah, this is now when you start to use the three breaths, Om, On, Hum, the white is the energy of the elements in the air all coming into you, which is all five elements in the air together. You're inhaling that to stay alive, and then the energy of that is the red light, which you visualize from the throat. But what it is the energy of the elements actually coming through every cell, nerve, and so forth in your body. That's the red light. But it is also a deity color. It's also a Buddha color, a code. We call them codes. And these codes are readable worldwide, wherever you have Dharma centers or stupas or whatever they've set up. Then that gives you the information of what you are witnessing with your eyes, what you're seeing, such as statues and the color codes of prayer flags and so forth.
Mm.
But the red light is the middle breath. Okay, so that goes through your lungs, through the heart chakra, and we are trained to take the intellectual process of what we are imagining, and instead of sending it out directly from the head chakra, we channel it through the heart chakra and then out. And in that way, we receive the heartfelt energy of the environment and the beings in it back into us, because it's a circular program. And then the blue breath is a combination of those two, out your nose or mouth or however you're doing that, is a sharing process. You're blending it back in, giving it back as a gift, a powerful gift to your situation or to the environment of where you are. And it doesn't matter where it is on the planet, it works. And the byproduct of this program is so that people can heal themselves of their maladies and then their diseases and their emotional disruptions, and teach their family, friends, uh, and anybody else this same process. It's not a patented process. It's available. And it's available through the Dharma. And when you do it with the Dharma, then those three, Om, Ah, and Hum, is part of the transmission of the Dharma. But not only that, it's your transmission of love. And that's what happens when you channel through your heart chakra, either incoming or outgoing energy. Love, we say mamacita in Costa Rica, is like the mother for her only child. And I've said that before because that's an unconditional situation of love expressed. And it happens in the animal and the human world. And you witness this, you see this. It's not something made up. This has been going on for thousands and thousands of lifetimes. Actually, no beginning or no end to this. When you say that, that takes out the religious aspect of it, because our intention is to go beyond the God and Goddess realms of all these traditions of so-called dogmatic religions of whatever, shamanistic and so forth. What is beyond? Well, simply said, it's these 10 trainings put together and perfected by practice. And the better and more you do this, well, the results are right in front of you. Here we are. Hey, 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 rock and roll is here to stay.
Thank you, Lama Tashi.
Okay. Next, any more? Okay.
Tashi, I have one question.
Hi, hey, how's it going, Nicole?
Happy Lostar,
Happy
Tashi.
Hour to you and Andy and all the
Good to
family.
see you both.
Hey,
So, my question is, I'm really trying to use this in my day-to-day life. And so when we're using the 5 wisdoms, I've been using them in my morning practice. I've been using them in my Yidam practice. And then how to use these wisdoms as things come up in your day, because that's my whole goal, is to incorporate the practice into my day. So, example, if I'm feeling, something occurs during the day, say a challenge with our daughter we're having right now, and you feel frustration and anger and maybe worry, you bring in that awareness to mirror-like wisdom right there and target it with the mirror-like wisdom.
Of course.
And how do you bring that into your awareness in the moment? Because when the emotion or the klesha
Well, it's hard to bring it into the moment because the present doesn't exist. We enter with the Dharma into, of course, people have this process of past, present, future, and the present. But this is a timeless situation, but it's also because of the way these practices we do, it's a timeless experience. And when you experience timelessness, you're in a state of beyond comprehension. Okay, so these 10 levels, people have been asking me, like you just said, how do you put it into your personal family or whatever situation? Well, you do it with these 10 Bodhisattva trainings. Memorize them and go through them every day. And then I'm also receiving training through the terminal lineage of Padmasambhava and Yeshe Tsogyal, who were the ones that brought the Sutra and Tantra tradition into this present age. In Tibet, they started it, but now it's global. And so we're talking about a global exercise to overcome the harm and destruction that humans have placed on themselves through war, famine, disease, poverty, environmental destruction, the spread of toxins, and all kinds of other weird stuff. It's going on right now worldwide. We've got a global situation to take it out. Either take it out, stop it, or transform it. And for you, that's these 10 Bodhisattva trainings. Generosity, morality, patience, perseverance, meditative concentration, and focus and insight. Insight is the 5 Buddha families in action to take these obstructive emotions, which are constantly coming on night, day, and so forth, so that our next life, we don't have to take birth through a man or a woman. We can do the new Buddha way that Padmasambhava, how he did it was from a lotus. From a plant? Yay! And then you don't get all the complications of having an actual human mother and father to deal with as you mature from a child and on into adult. Does that answer your question?
Yeah,
It's
thank you. So my practice, these wisdoms will come naturally with my practice and through my day.
Yes, we all
Mm.
possess these wisdoms. This is our Buddha nature. We have two natures. And simply said, one is the drama nature.
Mm.
Okay? Da, 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 da. And then we have the Buddha nature. Well, Buddha is a made-up word. It was something that it's there that wasn't there before. But it was there before because these Buddhas have been coming not just to this planet, which one of my teachers, Kala Rinpoche, jokingly said was called the reject planet. I don't think he was joking, but this is a way to deal with who we are, what we are as a human. And the Dalai Lama says the word is take the word human and make it humane, which is the loving kindness aspect of humanity. And humane is translated into all these 10 Bodhisattva trainings. And we don't have to be a monk or nun. I went through that program in a 40-month retreat, which I wasn't really supposed to do that because I just went there to help build it. But the Lama in charge said, no, you're in. And so, okay, I'll take a break. 40 months, 3 years, 3 months, 3 days, etc. So, but all of you have it good. You're out there in the world. You don't have to go through that extreme. It's only necessary for certain types of us humans that do that. And either temporarily or permanently, depending on their karma. And that word brings me to one more thing. When you think about why are we really doing this, personally speaking, okay, which is well, Padmasambhava in his term of transmissions, which I have at the text, he says, well, first of all, you have to remember death and impermanence. You got to remember you have karma, which involves not only this life, but all your past lives, whether you believe it or not, and your involvement with others. And and then the karma is because you now have a life of conditioned existence. You didn't come into the world with the uh, full knowledge of the Buddha energy of your awareness, of your mind. So now you have to learn that. So these three, Padmasambhava said, you should think of it many times during the day and even at night. And again, I'll sum them up. So the first is is our situation of, excuse me, of death and impermanence. Oh, well, I don't want to do that. Everybody says, I don't want to think about that. No, that's a reality. Then karma is a reality, believe it or not. Most religions do not. Most humans do not. And that's the problem we're going through worldwide today. They don't believe in their own karma. They don't want to go there. And then conditioned existence, that means you weren't born as a highly evolved individual, man or woman, because the women actually are more evolved than the men because of the quality they need to bring us humans into the world through birth process. And that quality, I call it intuition. The Padmasambhava called it omniscience. That means you know everything about everything. Omniscience, intuition, boy, That's what one of the classes we just had was on the web. It's called Google, and then they have the new, what's the one that they're doing, the AI? Yeah, and then there's another one. But anyway, intuition, women have it. They have to have it if they're going to, especially if they're going to be birthing babies and, and bringing them into maturity. So that's what the Dharma is all about. That's for everybody. So my intuitive ability is a newly found gift, and it's starting to work pretty good. And for me, where it's very helpful is for new students, so I can understand their problems, their disabilities, their whatever they need to know or do. And so that's on the higher scale of a teacher. And so all that said, those three, many times, if you're practicing the Dharma, keep them up front, because that's the reason for the season. Any more?
And I just wondered if you could speak once more to the sixth one. You said spatial awareness, and I just wanted a more how you would describe that better. Like I'm thinking spatial, like where your body is in space, but I guess I'm wanting a more
Well, the space element is the mother element. Space is everything. And as far out as we know our universes, it's all about space. So we call that the mother element. Then the earth, water, fire, and air can only evolve because of the space. So she's the mother, we call her the mother of perfect wisdom, or the mother of the universe. Well, out the window goes the patriarchal belief that these gods are creating this universe. Well, of course, they have a lot to do with it, but the original is the mother. And so my way of thinking about all this is we have to have the women, humans, evolve to at least an equal sharing of all of what's going on our planet. And I mean all of it, politically, in communities, every which way, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Wow. Why? Don't ask. There's no answer. Oh, but I gave you one. Oh, so there's a paragraph. So when I say it's it, like the five elements really works, and then I say it's not it, what I mean is that it's not the full package. Okay, because of those two natures, we're taking care of the physical, but we also have to take care, as I said before, the mental. And then work on the spiritual level, because those spirits are our friends. They're our former parents. They're our former mothers. And so are the animals. And so have each of us. We've all been doing this for time in with no beginning, premortal. Oh, and my daughter thinks about it like, I mean, not my daughter, Abby's daughter. She thinks of it, Abby was my wife. She thinks of it as a Disneyland, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride to Nowhere in particular. And she even showed me the whole ride on her cell phone. And she says, that's the way I think about this Dharma and how I'm experiencing it. And then I asked my wife, how do you experience it? She says, well, I experience it And actually, as everything is okay, infinitely okay. Wow, infinitely? But that means beyond comprehension to me, infinite. They throw that word around in the religious traditions like it means something with this God or goddess or something like that. I go, oh, it's beyond that. And so now you have some understanding for yourselves from this transmission today. And if there's any questions in this up and coming female fire horse year, then we're available to answer them through
Email, I'll get them onto the
email
and WhatsApp occasionally.
and WhatsApp. So we're in place, and all our centers that we have working, whether it be here or in Canada or Hawaii or wherever, they all have websites. Sometimes some of them more than one, but depends on what their healing program is.
Elia has a question.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello, aloha.
Hi, are you talking to me? I didn't have a
Hi.
question.
Oh, I thought you did.
Oh, I just saw you come on camera and off mute, so I thought maybe.
Oh, no. I try to not be distracted when I'm listening to Lama Tashi, so I turn off the camera as well as the mute. But here I am. I'm listening. I'm attentive, and it's really wonderful to see you, Lama Tashi, especially how rosy your face is. Very healthy.
Yeah, well, we live in a valley on the highest mountain in Costa Rica called Ripo Mountain, and we live in the valley called Chiripo, and the river is actually surrounding our house right outside the doors with waterfalls on three sides and a stream behind it
How
coming.
lovely is that?
Well, it's unbelievably beautiful.
Roxanne, thank you for caring for Lama Tashi.
Yeah.
Really and truly, so wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my mother from maybe 10,000 lifetimes ago.
Obviously, that is so great.
Lama Tashi, it sounds like you never left Hawaii from what you're describing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting every morning from about 9 to noon, the sun hits down in here in an open area for parking cars, which is right outside of our house. And I go down there and sit on a log and try to get as much of the vitamin D as I can. And then all the noise of all the water energy here, are you getting the
And
the
good
vibration?
food.
Great food.
Yeah,
Good food.
Yeah.
yeah, it's working.
It looks like it's working.
Yeah, so the Dalai Lama and other teachers, they want me to live to be 100. Well, I'm already pushing it at 87. So I said, well, I'll give it my best shot.
You already have.
Well, now I have to keep up with that.
Yeah, that's so
But at
awesome.
the same time, then Lama Lama Rinchen, he tells me, oh, yeah, that's fine. But at the same time, you should keep in your mind on which is coming first, your next breath or your next life. So you got this juxtaposition. Well, okay, we're going to try to do it this way, but you got to keep this in mind. And that's where mindfulness becomes a very important part of our practice of the Dharma. So night and day, mindfulness is here to stay. Hey, 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 hey. Anything else?
I have a question, Lama Tashi. This is Sophia.
Hi, Sophia.
Hi. I'm just getting ready to go it full on into gardening season here. And the conflict that I have every year is I have bugs to deal with who would like to take over some of my plants. And I don't want to be like in opposition. Like I recognize their lives, but I also recognize that I need to have these plants grow to feed my family. How do I work with bugs? Like, what can I do to not be dispatching them coldly? I don't want to kill them, but I also don't want them eating my food. How do I work with this?
Well, whoever if you're fortunate enough to have somebody take over and be as loving as you were with your gardens, this same thing was asked of me when I showed up at Akumama, which is one of our uh, uh, healing centers here in Costa Rica. So we redid their gardens, which are raised beds with clear coverings over the tops so that the rain doesn't pound them into the ground.
Mhm.
And Roxanne found worm casting.
Mhm.
Well, that's a very simple way of somebody else giving to the soil what is necessary for the good life of your flowering plants or your vegetables or whatever,
Yep.
trees and everything. And so we redid their beds with the worm casting. But myself, what I did is I went and got a worm farm in Texas with red regulars.
Yep.
Yeah, and so I smuggled those into Hawaii and put those all over our property. And they actually not only eat soil and then leave their castings with the soil behind, but they go down into the hard pan and also migrate into the neighboring
Yep.
earth.
Mhm.
But what about for bugs that are eating the garden, like pests?
Good.
Let
It
them
will
munch
kill.
away.
Yeah.
Well, I used to bag up what I could of them in various ways, trap them, and take them to a forest area or to a river area, like even turtles and snails and burrowing frogs and so forth. And the bugs catch them in traps and and get them out of the neighborhood. Roosters, I used to trap the roosters because they keep you awake night and day.
Yep.
Take them about 6 blocks away, and they're so stupid they don't want to come in.
What I've tried to do before is leave parts of the garden that they can have and kind of warn them and say, here are plants that I've dedicated to you. Please leave these ones alone.
Nice.
Yeah,
And
do that. That's very, very uh, gracious.
uh,
Yes, they need to have their own special areas. And if you have a large piece of property, we like here we don't have to worry about it because the whole jungle's wild.
mhm.
But if you actually are taking out an area of the jungle, an acre or whatever, then one part of that should be, or more than one in certain cases, should be left for the already existing
Yeah.
ants, mosquitoes, flies, bees, everything.
Yeah. I was my I have scale on my oak leaf fern that I was working with yesterday, and it's like the only way to remove the scale, they're insects, but they leave little hard things, is to actually wipe them away with neem oil. And I'm aware that when I'm doing this, I'm unavoidably killing some of them. So what I do is say mantras for them, like Om Mani Padme Hung, and wish for their next life to be
Yes.
better. But it's like when it comes down to it, it's like I've had, times when it's like it's either I kill this bug or it takes over this plant. So what is there something better that I can do than what I'm doing?
Well, if for whatever reason you have to harm or take them out, kill them, then there is karma in that,
Yeah.
and that uh, you purify it with your dharma practice.
Mhm. Okay.
and your intention. That I do it this way. I have a prayer to these fish, which are part of our diet here. This is a fish farm. They call it trucha,
Mm-hmm.
Spanish. But like yesterday, we had a big community gathering of all of our friends that live in this area for a birthday party for Azani, and we had trout dinners.
Mm-hmm.
But everything is karma. You can't do anything without karma.
Yep.
Your mindset determines the violence in your situation, and that's your practice to have it come, like you just said, heartfelt and powerfully. This tantric practice of Tibetan Buddhism is called the path of skillful means.
Mm-hmm.
And it is exactly that. And that means something very superior to which everybody should be involved with their environment somehow, some way, but in that way is the best. So you're doing fine.
Thank you, Lama Tashi. That relieves my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Know that you are successful because of compassion,
Mm-hmm.
power,
Mm-hmm.
and insight.
Mm-hmm.
Those three working together will solve 99 9/10 of the situation that are not in accord with that, not in harmony with those three:
Mm-hmm.
compassion, power, and insight. That's the Dharma.
Yeah.
Dar, energy, Ma, the mother.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, ma'am. Yes.
Lama Tashi, I'm so glad to hear this conversation. This is something that I've been thinking about too, about harming insects. And I was bitten by a tick many years ago and have had Lyme disease for all these years. And in all of these years, I have captured spiders and mosquitoes and flies with my little plastic cup and a piece of paper and taken them outside. And then in one of my workshops that I was taking, the teacher who took a 3-year retreat like yours was asked about killing mosquitoes, and he said, "What, are you kidding? Those suckers carry disease. Of course I'd kill a mosquito." And he said, and I'd say, "Oh, money paid me on." So wow, so that changed my mind about mosquitoes. And so just the other day, I swatted my first mosquito, who by the way landed on a Buddhist magazine, and and I said, "Oh, money paid me home," because I thought if he doesn't bite me, it's going to bite somebody else, and and I felt very squirmish about it, but that's my new policy. and and it's much easier to catch spiders who also carry Lyme disease, um, and other bugs, but I've moved away with the mosquitoes, and I immediately a ask for their good next life.
I have two ways of dealing with killing, which because I'm a farmer gardener, I have that problem just like you do, but we're
Uh-huh.
mindful about it. But the Dharma has the Omani Pemi Hung, and they also have the Vajrasattva practice, which is the king of all of the
Oh, yes.
deity yogas. And so if you can do the Vajrasattva 100-syllable mantra, that's a very, very powerful way of transmuting this negative results of karma to positive, or at least neutralize. Now, neutralize means to, in some circles, means to kill. but, but Also, I say to the fish, which are going to be every week, hundreds or thousands of them fed to our neighbors and friends and to us, that they become my students or children in a future life.
Oh, how beautiful.
Yeah, so I go to the fish farm every morning and walk through the pools and talk to the fish. And a funny thing is taking place in some of the pools. The fish come over to where I am. Usually they run away because it might be the guy coming with the net to take them out for dinner, see? And I think they have some knowledge about, or because they're fish, about your shadow or your image coming to them. They're not quite sure. They know there's danger.
Mm-hmm.
But now, since I've been showing up regularly, it's like when I had bees, after about a month of my bees, they don't sting you anymore. You don't have to smoke them when you go get to take care of their hive.
Yeah.
And so the insect world is a wholly different environment. But animals, insects, down to the tiniest, think of them as your parents, your mother from a past life. Yeah, that's called mind training. That's called mindfulness.
Yes.
You know, and us characters that have been through a 40-month retreat, we learned it the hard way, which was, for me, not the hard way because I got a break from being a workaholic, hard labor. So
Yeah.
that's my take.
Thank
That's,
you.
I recommend it.
Thank
Well,
you.
I could say the mantra.
Mhm.
Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manopalaya Vajrasattu Dhinapa Tita Tito Me Bhava Sutukayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Memta Yatsa Sarva Karma Susame Chitam Shriya Guru Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sarvatata Gata Vaishamame Mutsa Vaishabhava Ma Samaya Sato
Oh, thank you.
Ah. That's the sound of enjoyment when you have a pleasurable experience.
Mhm.
I put it in the power chakra now as part of my practice, the Sita Blah. And just chanting this mantra brings me tears of happiness.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
see, so anyway, um, I would like to chant everything, all the Dharma is transmitted as songs. The Tibetan word for that, coincidentally, is tune. But chanting or singing or just saying the mantra or thinking the mantra, um, on this page, some of you have this on the back, is this mind of enlightenment, and right below that is called the Brahma Viharas, the four immeasurables. Now, I'm going to sing the four immeasurables. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upaika. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upaika. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upaika. Loving kindness and compassion, joy, bliss, and equanimity. Loving kindness and compassion, joy, bliss, and equanimity. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upaika. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upaika. Metta, Karuna, Mudita upaya. Now I'm dripping. And it's not from the weather, it's from happiness. So these four immeasurables, they're called immeasurables because they're everything should be involved that way from your heart. And we're training our imagination to constantly do that. So there's no other way to be mentally. And the mental process in the mind, eventually, like your cell phone, you turn it off. And you do that through this path of skillful means, that every deity disappears into voidness at the end of the chanting of the mantra or the prayers of that deity. You dissolve them into your heart centers, into space. Where they go, nobody knows. Where they come from, nobody knows. But here they are, and they weren't there before. So we're cultivating to be just as we should be, and can be, and are being. Emaho.
Beautiful.
We wish that all beings have happiness and the cause of happiness. We wish all beings to be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. We wish all beings to dwell free from any kind of suffering. And we wish for all beings to dwell in equanimity, so that these first three are equally presented to every living being and every environment we find ourselves in. Free from attachment, aversion, pride, jealousy, stupidity, bewilderment, ignorance, fear, hope, anxiety, depression, etc., etc., etc. Put all of this on your websites with the 21 breaths and the 5-element breathing, however you are doing it. And if you can, to your family members and friends and lovers, and if you can, to the school systems. We started with the university, then the high school, then the grade school, then the Hawaiian, and the Japanese, and the Filipino. So good luck and good fortune to all. That said, we dedicate the results to the benefit of all beings, our mothers, that they have as much fun as we're having.
Thanks, Lama Tashi. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Lama Tashi.
Thank you, Lama Tashi.
Ruche, happy Losar.
Happy Losar.
Yeah,
Happy
that's
Losar. Thank you, Lama Tashi.
Thank you.
we're going to have a very interesting year, all of us.
Yep.
We live in interesting times. That's the best way, best good karma.
Yep.
Thank you, Lama Tashi.
Hey, yay, hey, hey.
Thank
you.
Hey, hey. Thank you, Roxanne.
Thank you, Roxanne.
Yep, everybody.
Thank
Thanks
you,
to
Roxanne.
everybody.
Aww.
Bye for now.
Yeah.